Hello and what's up guys, it's Orton here once again with the third episode of Megacity from scratch. This episode is going to be really exciting as we're going to do something completely different. We're not going to touch our main island, we're also not going to do anything for our industrial island, but we're going to do something really exciting that's going to also expand the city but also expand the sectors in the city. So just a quick review, if you haven't watched the last episodes, I highly recommend to watch it so you can understand how we built up this city and what did we do in order to build up this city. For now, we haven't done anything very exciting. We haven't gone to our important downtown district yet, or the northern districts of the main island, which is gonna be the main focus and the main highlight of the city. We'll be getting to that in the next episodes, but for now, just for the sake of the expansion of city, we have created an industrial district which looks pretty nice actually. I did not intend it to be that nice, but anyways, it looks pretty nice, organized, with a lot of housing, a lot of industrial labor force here. So today our goal is let's look at the population is now just about 19,000, and remember that we're gonna push it up until we hit the 200,000, and once we hit the 200,000 you're gonna see that these islands are completely gonna transform into something very exciting. We did plan our main expressway commercial phase, that was very exciting in the second episode, and you have to continue. And today the thing is, this is gonna be the main island where we're gonna be developing our city. So most exciting thing is this island is full of oil and or resources, so we're gonna use our skills to actually harvest that oil and ore industry. So first we're gonna lay out the highway, just a simple highway, single laned highway. We don't want to create something very big here. We're just gonna create some small towns around here that's gonna house the main labor force who's gonna be employed in this oil and ore industries. So this here, so our highway sits right here with oil and ore, and this is probably where we're gonna start building the first small town to house the labor force. And here we're gonna develop our ore industries, as well as there's a lot of oil that we're gonna harvest, and that's also gonna bring in a lot of pretty bucks for our city. That's gonna help us expand further when we're gonna develop the most exciting neighborhoods of downtown or the northern districts of our city. So stay tuned, because this is also gonna be very amazing. By the end of this episode, you're really gonna appreciate your time, because this part will be completely transformed. Let's start by developing our first small town. I want to keep it natural looking. I don't want to keep it properly organized or something, but the main focus here is to house the labor force who are going to work in the industrial sectors. So for that, perhaps let's design like this. I'm right now I'm designing random roads, but as you all know, as we expand, things come out and we continue to develop in different ways, and then at the end that is just created into something very nice and unique, and that is exactly what's gonna happen with this small town also here. So this is gonna be our main framework of roads around which we're gonna develop our town. So in the center is going to be the commercial zone, natural, and around it is going to be the main residential areas, but mainly our focus here is not to provide them a lot of education system and stuff, so that they do not get a lot of well educated, so because we want them to actually work in our oil and ore industry, which is quite labor intensive. So by the end of this episode, you're really gonna see this whole island transform into something very amazing. It's gonna look like it's coming right out of the Arabian Peninsula, covered with desert and oil rigs and small towns. So here is where we are gonna give another highway connection for our oil and ore industries, for the movement of goods. I think that looks pretty neat. I wouldn't say neat, but I think it looks pretty normal, like just like a normal town. So we have a little bit of water body. Perhaps we're gonna use and develop around it some fishing industries. That's also gonna boost up our economy, as well as provide a lot of employment to our sims here. And I think this town looks good. So this town will be the central town of this island, which is gonna be the main area where the sims from around small towns and villages are gonna come in, probably shopping and stuff. So here is the oil and ore industries, and I think it's pretty good. The location of our town is very important, and I think we have just randomly placed our town on a very important location. Here we are gonna exploit our oil from, and up in other side we might get our ore. So let's start developing our first roads and infrastructure to expand our oil sector industries. Stay tuned, guys, because you're gonna learn a lot, as well as you're gonna enjoy this video, because by the end, as I'm continuously saying, it's gonna be really amazing. And this is ready. So this is gonna be the basic framework, the foundations of a town and our sectors which are gonna be developing around. And we might need to give a ferry connection. That is also very important for the movement of labor and people from our main island to our desert island. Oh, by the way, that's a nice name, Desert Island. Okay, so we also need to actually give a ferry connection on the other side. How about here? Okay, let's give a rail connection first, because the most important thing for oil and ore industries is that they're quite labor intensive, as well as they produce a lot of stuff. So once you start developing these industries, there's going to be lots and lots of trucks, and you need a lot of well-developed infrastructure for the movement of goods, in order to not completely jam your roads and stuff. So we're going to place our cargo station here for the movement of oil, so the trucks can directly transport it to the cargo station, as well as a pedestrian station here. Pedestrians. Sim station for the movement of passengers across. And perhaps here we'll develop our small harbor town. So this town is not going to be very big, because it's going to be developed in because of the need of developing a cargo port with a railway connection, so that the trains can directly load and unload their cargoes here, as well as we're gonna connect it to our highway back there for the movement of trucks. That's gonna bring in a lot of oil and ore for transportation. We're also gonna develop this ferry pathway to connect it to our. Okay, there we go. So now we have a connection for the movement of people from both islands with this ferry line that we are gonna establish initially. And our cargo port is also right there, so we're gonna connect it with the rail, so that the trains can right on bring their cargoes and unload over here. So infrastructure, once again, is very important. We need to make sure that our first transportation infrastructure is well enough to handle all the logistics. So we've got a passenger station. Okay, so the ferry stop and the passenger station, that's gonna connect to our main town. So this will create a lot of ease of mobility for the passengers, for the workers, as well as for the goods that we produce. So let's start by zoning initial neighborhood. Don't worry about it. The thing is, we're gonna expand it, and I think we might need a lot more space for our laborers, because once again there's a lot of labor force that we need for our industries to actually produce a lot of stuff. So let's zone our oil industry here as well as our ore industry over there. And initially the infrastructure is good enough to handle the initial logistics and mobility of passengers as well as cargo. But if we continue to expand further, we might need to upgrade our infrastructure. But initially it looks very good, and it definitely can handle a decent amount of logistics and cargoes. So this is the first look of our oil field. Of course, we're gonna expand on that also, and we're gonna transform it right in this video into something different too. By the end of this video, it's gonna look pretty nice. So here the first sims are coming in, and our passenger station that connects with the ferry, so ease of transportation for the passengers. Later on, I don't know, I also have an idea of developing an airport over here. Although not the main airport for the city. For that, I do have great plans, and those are going to be exciting. And you have to stay tuned for the great airport that we're going to develop for the city. But for this island, I might develop a desert airport, just like in Saudi Arabia or UAE. They have these small airfields that handles cargo as well as passengers, and that also would add to the aesthetics as well as the logistics and infrastructure of this island. So our oil industry is working. Let's increase our oil production, and look at that. Okay, so this is the initial form right now, but it's gonna be a lot more by the end of this episode. And here they are. The trucks are bringing in the oil that is being transported directly by train, which takes it all the way through this golden desert to our industrial port. So this is something that is very nice. So you just right now, just within a couple minutes, you gotta look at how this is gonna function. Here we go. We have ferries that are gonna take passengers, and let's create a parking zone. I think here is okay. I'm not sure the sims are gonna use it, but anyways. Okay, so the initial movement has started with the trains and the cargo ships coming in, as well as the passengers coming in. So let's start expanding our city a bit. These are the apartment buildings that's gonna house like 15 to 20 households, because we need a lot of labor force. And this is initially how it looks. And let's just go on and do something. We're gonna give the school out policy, because we don't want them to go to schools, we want them to work. That sounds pretty harsh, but that's how our labor force is produced. Let's place a hotel also here for the tourists and people who want to just come and visit the desert island. Okay, we need to stop the movement of the trucks through the city center. We just want them to take the main road. That is why we have to block the trucks from entering the streets so that they can use the main road. Okay. That's how the movement is. You can look at the oil field. There's a lot of trucks coming in and out. It's already getting pretty crowded over there. But we do have to expand it. We do have to upgrade it over here. You see, although it's flowing right now, but I can definitely see how much crowded it's gonna be. Okay, the passengers are also using the trains, and the cargo port is also functioning properly. So this is the basic layout of this island. Let's give the passengers a local train, which is gonna bring connect our main station with our cargo port station. That's gonna ease further our sims to get to the main station, to get to the main town of this desert island. Okay, that's the basic outlook right now. Everything is functioning properly. We do have our production we're producing 306 barrels, and we're actually making about $22,000 profit. So that's a pretty hefty amount of money. Okay, so we're actually making it in positive. Our city is now earning about a lot of money, which is good. Let's expand it, because we want to expand on our profits, because we need a lot of money for our top-notch neighborhoods of our downtown, as well as the northern part. Here goes the train taking the oil. I'm pretty enjoying it, pretty much. How about you? I would like to know your thoughts. Do comment down below. What do you think? What do you find exciting? As well as what would you have done different. Remember, this is what we are gonna build together along this series of Megacity from scratch. Okay, let's connect it. There's an alternate pathway for the trucks. Perhaps we'll have to upgrade the roads to industrial roads. We'll go to that perhaps later. Okay, our households are filling up. So this right here also gives you a feel of need-based apartment buildings. That's exactly what we were aiming for the first look, to know, okay, this is the need-based apartment buildings, because we need to house a lot of workforce. Let's make it a little bit more aesthetically beautiful. Maybe plant some trees over here, and okay, now we have it nice for the movement of the sims, as well as let's plant different trees over here. Okay, I think that looks nice. That looks very nice. Do comment down below what you think about that too. Although it's a very small detail, but the details, the devil is hidden in the details, of course. That's how the saying goes. And let's expand this neighborhood. We need more people. Okay, more need-based apartments. Actually, I don't know if you had the idea, but do comment down below if you knew that what we're gonna do in this episode, because I kept it a secret. I did not reveal what we're gonna do, but I was pretty excited for it. Okay, so our profits have gone a bit down. What's happening here? Okay, we might need to expand it further. We need more profits. Let's expand. Okay, there we go. Now our oil production is now pumped up, and we might also need to upgrade the roads over there. But let's first develop our neighborhood. More need-based apartments, but this time we're gonna keep it aesthetically much beautiful. So we need to go in the details once again. Okay, make it historical before they upgrade. Damn it. Some of them already upgraded, but it's fine. Okay, before they upgrade, we need to make them historical. And now let's delve into the details. Make them look aesthetically more beautiful. So this is gonna be the basic structure. Perhaps we're gonna place a park. Okay, there we go. A central park for this apartment complex, and let's give it some more roads for more natural look, and then we'll plant some more trees. Okay, there it goes. Alright, so this might be the... Yeah, this is the looks good, and now plant some more trees. Now this is the final version of our new apartment place, and it looks pretty nice. What do you think? Do comment down below once again. Let's fill in those gaps over here. We need more labor force. Okay, so now apartment complex looking pretty nice. What do you think? I think it looks nice. It looks quite natural. We do have some green spaces for the Sims, and as well as a park for their leisure. Okay, over here. This is the look of our town. We're gonna further expand it right away, but first we need to look at our oil. Okay, actually there's 1,300 workers less, so we need more workers for our oil industry. Let's create another desert pathway for our Sims, so they can just walk instead of walking like at the side of the roads. They can take their pedestrian pathways. Okay, now you see actually the traffic is building up quite fast. That's exactly what I was speaking about, because I was telling you that once you start developing your oil as well as your ore sectors, they generate a lot of traffic, a lot of logistics, a lot of tankers carrying oil. You see the roads are now congested, and we do need to solve it right now. You see, overall the trucks are lining up, although we have our station right next door, but that's not gonna work. So let's expand our roads. That's gonna improve the mobility. Perhaps let's do this double road. Okay, and we need to change the turn lanes, give them exclusive turn lanes so that the trucks don't all pile up in one lane. I think we might also need to expand this road here. Let's do that too, because the traffic is not holding up. Maybe place another cargo station, because one is apparently not enough. And we haven't yet started developing our ore industry, so you can see how much traffic builds up, as well as how many passengers, how many workers actually are moving into this area, because there's a lot of jobs. Once again, we need to develop separate path for pedestrians. Okay, now this second station is also working. The trucks are coming in and the trains are going out, so I think both of them are able to now handle enough load. Okay, more need-based zones here. Let's go to... Actually, one-on-one household is not really nice. Let's go to realistic population and change the home size to at least 3. And there we go. Okay, so that now we have 3 households in one building, because I don't know, one is too strange for such a tall building, which has 6 floors, so 3 households makes sense. Our school is over there. Our city is expanding. Perhaps another residential block over. Let's develop this part. These complexes look also nice. They're actually a bit nicer than the ones right behind them. But of course, they're not very exclusive. They're not very amazing. And that is exactly what we want. We don't want some very fancy skyscrapers piling up over here, because this is gonna be your need-based zone. So that's gonna help a lot of Sims and workers to move into the city. And this is now how it looks like for now. Okay, so now the traffic load has also reduced. Of course, it's also because of our second station over here. However, the Sims are not moving. Okay, that's how it looks like for now. So there is no traffic jam. But this and okay. So both of our transportations, the cargo stations, population has increased to about 21,800. Workers are still just 9,500 out of 15,000 of what we need. So there is a lack of like 5,500 workers that we need. So that clearly shows that we really need to develop more residential places here. So how about we come over here and okay, so we need to upgrade our ferry because a lot of passengers are using the ferry right now. And how about... Okay, let's have a look. So there goes a cargo train, there goes a cargo train. And through the dense desert, it goes to our port. Okay, so... Oh, it was a passenger train. Okay, well. Alright, let's take them back. So there are 38 passengers and there goes a passenger train. There goes a passenger train through the desert. It's moving pretty fast. And you see the trains coming and going, so that shows a lot of movement. And there we come to our main station, which looks very, very nice, very practical, not very fancy, small and practical, and very natural. This is what we want. Actually, our Sims are moving along the road, so we need to change our pathway so that they don't take this longer cut and instead they go through the desert. Okay, yeah, now the movement is fine. Now they're moving how we want them to move. Alright. So now you see how much we have already developed, and this area there used to be nothing, and in just the last some minutes we have actually developed a lot of stuff over here. We do need to make certain changes, small changes here and there, but let's develop a neighborhood over here. A small town, not a very big town like our main town, because that's gonna be the main town. This is just gonna be the port town, which is gonna actually handle our cargo passengers, as well as gonna provide some living spaces for the population, and we clearly need more than 5,000 workers. So and I don't intend to continue to upgrade our main town over here because well, I don't want it to look like a big crowded city. That's why we're going to develop separate small towns to house separate workforce, and that's also not going to generate a lot of traffic. So that is what my plan is. More need-based apartments we need. Okay, that looks okay. This time it's gonna be like different ones, not exactly the same, so they look more natural. Now the street looks more natural but very high density. Perhaps we might bring down some of them later on, but that's how it looks like for now. Okay, let's just... Alright. Let's place some commercial zones over here. So this road is gonna house a mix of commercial and residential buildings. We also need to upgrade the road. I also want to make it a little bit more aesthetically nice. Oh, that looks very nice. Okay, this is how it looks like. Alright, so that is how our port town is developing. The ferries are working fine. We need to increase the spaces. Alright, so you see how the look has transformed in the last half an hour as we have developed our towns. Let's create more neighborhoods, expand this small town. We do not want it to be very big, but we do need to house more Sims. Okay, so this is the main road of the town. It looks nice. We might also need to place more buildings over here. Okay, the trucks are moving fine. We don't have a lot of truck traffic over here for now because of the trains. Thanks to the trains. All right. So you see how it looks like right now? It looks exactly like a desert island. Wow. I've started to love it. Okay, let's place some more residential buildings. We need more workforce. I don't know. I've been trying my best to meet the workforce requirements, but actually it always stays a couple thousand below what is actually needed. Let's also place more residences here. This time it's gonna be this one tiny apartments as well as its tiny houses. Okay, let's see what they develop into. That's also not bad, I think. That's fine. Alright, let them develop, and this is our hostel, town hostel. Let's make it cheaper for more Sims to stay in, because it's just a port town hostel, so there's nothing fancy over here. More residences. Let's place some over here, right at the entrance of the town. We need something different, something. How about this? This looks nice. And another one. This looks nice. Okay, both of them look nice, right at the entrance of the town. The traffic is not much, so that's a very good thing. This is how our port town looks like right now, and let's give the Sims more paths to walk on to ease their mobility. Okay. So this is our main town. You see how much it has already expanded. Let's expand it a little bit further. We do not want it to be crowded, but we do need some more places. And here we go. Houses started popping up. Okay, our oil industry is doing well. And alright, so our trains are continuously moving out. That's alright. For now, our infrastructure is actually doing what it was planned to do. It's actually handling pretty decent amount of traffic, as well as oil. So these are forgotten islands for this episode. Let's actually make more residential zones here, because we also need more workers in this part of town. So what do you think, guys? I'm very excited to know your opinion. What do you think of our episode 3, what we are doing over here? And let's create a unique kind of building. Okay, that looks nice. All right. Also, do let me know what you have learned, if you've learned something new, or also give your opinions and your suggestions, so that perhaps I can do something differently. See, abandoned office buildings just because of lack of labor force. But that will be solved definitely in the coming episodes. For now, for this episode, we wanted to develop our oil industries. So we already have established in the last episodes the basic public transportation system with buses, but in the coming episodes there's gonna be a lot more. We're gonna build trams as well as metros, so stay tuned for that. A lot is gonna come in the further episodes, but for this episode, this is pretty nice now how we have already developed a very realistic looking island. Okay, perhaps we can develop over here a bit. I know I said that we're not gonna touch our industrial district or our main island in this episode, but I cannot stay away from our main island or industrial district for much longer, because I don't know, I like it. I like this place very much. But let's quickly develop some residential areas here because we need workers, and I don't want to develop another town in the desert island right about now, perhaps later. That is why let's give some residential zones over here for the workforce to move in. Okay, that looks nice. Okay, so we have our apartment buildings over here. That is nice. All right, it has taken shape. This road looks very neat. All right, our 18 out of 22 households. That's all right. So our industrial district back to our desert island. That is how it looks like. You can clearly see it gives a clear view of some Arabian Peninsula places. Where let's have a look at our cinematic view of our city. That's gonna show different parts. Wow, very realistic. What do you think, guys? I'm very interested in your opinions. Do comment down below. So this is the first neighborhood that we developed into the city. And there we go, our desert island. All right. Okay, here we go. Wow. Wow. Alright, wow, we're gonna go back through our apartment buildings. Okay, that's how it looks like. And the Sims are actually using the pathway right here. You see? This is what we developed and Sims are using. So this is what I mean by devil in the details. That, I mean, you see, it looks very realistic and very natural. There's nothing fancy in this town, but it's still very exciting because we developed it to look very realistic, very natural, and it actually is doing the job excellently. There is our oil industry, our oil fields. Wow, this looks amazing. There goes our trucks. There go our trucks. Come on, take the oil out of the city. Bring in more green bucks. Wow. You see how amazing it looks right now. And our workers. And our train station. Wow. Very amazing. What do you think? Guys, do comment down below. I'm very interested in knowing your opinion. What do you think about all of this? Wow. See our oil industries, and this is our custom commercial zone for the second neighborhood that we developed in episode 2, so do have a look at that too. And this is our main expressway. There we go once again to our industrial, our oil town. Wow, this is the main city center right here. Very realistic, very natural, and very randomly planned, but functioning 100%. And this is how it looks like from an airplane. Wow, what do you think of that? There we go, our custom apartments are actually adding to the beauty of this town. And our trucks carrying all that load, bringing in the green bucks to a very nice looking oil field. Okay, so these are all the cinematic shots of our town. What do you think? about those, and what do you think is good, what do you think is bad? Do let me know in the comments down below. And did you enjoy this episode? Do let me know that as well. I'm very interested because I want this town, this Megacity project to be developed together. So your ideas, names for towns, names for roads, I would really appreciate if you comment down. What do you think I should name this? Oil towns over here. Wow, look at those hills at the back. Lush green hills right behind the golden desert, and there goes a red train. Wow, what a shot. There it goes, pushing it further and going out of the city. Wow. So, and there comes a cargo train loaded with all of that precious oil. Wow, this is also an amazing shot. What do you think of that? Wow. And over the horizon, there goes a train. Alright, this was the episode 3, very exciting for me. Do comment down below what you liked, what you did not like, and I'll see you in the next episode with some more exciting stuff. So stay tuned and like the video and share the video. If you like the content, do comment down below. Peace out.